What is up, YouTube? Okay, in today's video, I want to cover something that's not overlooked, but I feel like something that a lot of new producers have no idea what it is. Compression. Okay, now, what is compression? I'm going to cover, and then when would we use compression? How do you use compression? Now, I didn't know what compression was for a long time, for at least the first 6 months when I started producing. And it wasn't until I started studying music, which I actually learned what it actually is. So I'm about to give out information that I paid thousands for free. So all it is volume control. So, you know, back in the 70s and the 80s when people were making music on consoles and stuff, example, if you've got a kit, if you're peaking and you had your mix done and, you know what I mean, how did you stop yourself from peaking? Because the human can't control the fader nowhere near as fast as a compressor does. So that's what a compressor does. A compressor automatically, so let's just say if your kick's about to go, you know, above 0 dB, the compressor quickly brings it back down. So, or you could get a human and get him to try sit here and, you know, fuck around with the fader, but yeah, it's not going to happen. So that is why compressors were made. Now, realistically on samples, like I've said a million times, we don't really have to do any of that stuff really, because when they've made the samples, they've probably already compressed it and, you know, EQ'd it, post-processed it, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to show you quickly how you would use it properly. Now, I don't have a fancy plug-in compressor and all this shit. I just used, you know, the Fruity compressor because it does its job. And I don't think I'll ever not use this one because this one works fine. The way it works is pretty simple. Threshold is the limit you'll set for which you want it to compress. The ratio is then how severe that the compressor is going to work. The gain is pretty self-explanatory. You know, your level, you can bring the gain down, you can take the level up. Attack is how fast you want the compressors to start working. So majority of the time I do like this, having it all the way down. Your release is the exact same thing as how long it takes them for the compressor to stop working after it's compressed the signal. And then the type, I actually don't know what the, oh yeah, so a soft, I don't know if that means like a knee or a, I actually don't know what the type is. I know you can get like soft knee compressors and stuff where it's like, instead of such a harsh cutoff, it's a bit of like a tilt or like a curve. But yeah, the type you can usually leave how it is. Now, here's a good starting point for anyone who doesn't know, you know, still what to do. My teacher always used to say a good thing would be to put a threshold of about -4 and you put your ratio at 2.1. My teacher always used to say, if you're stuck on, if you need to compress something and you don't know what to do, just do that. -4.1 dB, 2.1 ratio. Okay, but I'm now going to show you exactly how to okay. So at the moment we're not peaking, so let me just okay. The kick's peaking there a little bit, right? Let's just see now what happens if I can fix this with the compressor. Now, so what you want to do, we're at 1.3, so already there, just by moving the threshold to 1.3, the threshold, I mean to 1.3, that is now telling my kick that at 1.3 I want to do something, right? Then you adjust your ratio and we should be able to see this now drop. There you go. See, so it's essentially just a volume control to help you with your peaking, your levels, you know, your problems when you've got volume problems in your mix. Now, like I said, don't go wasting, you know, half an hour to an hour worth of production time on these types of things when then they're not necessarily needed. You know, because like I said, these samples are probably already compressed and ready to go. You could just seriously leave the sample at -2 dB and you could make the song with that kick, you know. But like I said, we're producers, we feel like we need to do these things, so it's all good. Now, another thing I want to mention quickly, I watched a live stream, and a guy who's I've mentioned him before, JC Canado, he runs the UK electronic music school. He made a good point too, that he said the same thing. We don't really need compressors in electronic music, but a reason why we can use a compressor in electronic music is to make things tighter, make sounds more tight, especially kick drums and snares, he said. So let's have a look. Right, we've got our kick drum, it's going. Now let's see what he means by making this more tighter. There you go, you can already hear a bit of a difference just by messing with the knobs on this thing. That is definitely more tighter. Now, I wouldn't necessarily do that on the kick drum, but the snare, for example, there you go. So guys, just remember that essentially this is just volume control stuff. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing, you know, this isn't some crazy plugin where, you know, producers are doing crazy shit. Because I used to think that, and then it wasn't until I sat in class and I looked like a moron because I was the only one that was like, what the hell, is that all it is? But hey, like I said, we're always learning, so it doesn't really matter. Now, the second point, like I said, I mean, if you've been watching, you know, me make music and stuff, you notice that I do this on my kick, my snares, my cymbals, and my percussion, and it's the same thing. I'm not trying to look cool and do, you know, cool shit with a compressor. No, all I'm doing is just trying to make my instruments a little bit more tighter, so then in the master I can just bump them right up. That's essentially all I'm doing when you see me compressing stuff. Now, that is essentially what compression is. I've showed you how to then use a compressor. I've told you what it's for. Now essentially, yeah, where would you use it in electronic music? I mean, you could whack a compressor on any sound, for volume control, and if you want to make things a little bit tighter. But other than that, guys, it's not really something we should be going crazy with. I mean, but yeah. So, I mean, that could really cover it. I mean, I will do further videos on, you know, different things you could do, maybe. But at this moment, that's all I'm really using compressors for anyway. So yeah, I hope this helps. I hope someone has now a better understanding. I have some information during the tutorial on compression and stuff like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.